Let's dive into the world of Google Local Service Ads. And in this video, we're gonna cover what they are, where you need to go to start the setup yourself, some tips on the settings, because some of them can be a little bit confusing, and ultimately how you need to manage them within your workflow. And then we'll talk a little bit about expectations for the platform regarding costs and flow. So let's dive in. First thing that you need to understand is really what are Google Local Service Ads. So these are the Google Screened or Google Verified, Google Guarantee, and they have a little green check mark, and that's their current way of signaling that these are ads that Google highly approves of, and they are verified vendors within Google's platform. We often recommend these before you launch search ads because they often end up being cheaper leads, though there's a lot less control you have within the platform when it comes to managing the flow of them, but we'll get into that later. These ads are also at the tippy top of the search page when you're looking for a plumber, which tells you how important they are to Google. Google protects their users, and so they're trying to make a platform within their platform that allows them to connect verified businesses with their users to protect that user experience. And that influences how you actually want to manage the leads, and we'll get into that later as well. These ads are a cost per lead platform, not cost per click, which is how Google search ads are, even though they exist in the same page within the search platform. So you will basically pay each phone call or each message or each point of contact that Google sends you. But you do have the ability to dispute the validity of that contact, which allows you to reclaim that budget and then use it on another lead, which is something you don't get with Google search ads. And that's how they often end up being cheaper than other platforms. That said, the costs themselves vary dramatically from market to market. It depends on competition, it depends on what Google sets the auction at, and things along those lines. It's important to know that the lead flow varies dramatically as well. We've seen some clients with 5 leads a month, and we've seen others with 70 leads a month. And it's very hard to suss out what is driving that needle beyond the actions that you take on the ad, which we'll cover. Regardless of its flow, regardless of its cost, we recommend you at least get verified and get the platform ready, so that way it's something that you can toggle on and off when you need it for your business. So now let's go into the computer and we'll go into the platform and I'll show you around a little bit and some of the settings that you need to set up for your business and the setup process itself. So let's dive in. All right, so first thing you're gonna do is go straight into Google. I'm gonna make my screen a little bit bigger here, and go and search local service ads. You can also just type in ads.google.com/local services. That's a little bit hard. I don't know why, but Google Ads does not allow you to toggle between local service ads and the regular search ads when you are logging into their ads platform. So you have to go through this portal. And then if you are just starting out, you will go into Get Started. If you already have a Google Ads account, you might be able to just sign in and link that to your existing account. So I'm going to go ahead and sign in and get started on my platform or on my account, but I'm going to go through the setup process a little bit of a new one to show you what it's like. So this is the first screen that you're going to see when you create a new account. It'll ask, are you brand new to the Google Ads platform, or do you have an existing Google Ads account? If you have a Google Ads account, I highly recommend that you use this option because otherwise you will end up with 2 Google Ads accounts. And we have had some of our clients run into that, where what is happening is they are creating an account on Google search ads and local service ads, and then you have 2 separate accounts to manage when you could tie it all into one, which helps you with rights access and things like that. So we've been trying to correct that for people. So you would put your business name here, Mammoth Marketing, let's say, and then you'd get your phone number, 907-302-4129. Your website is optional, and you would put in your Google Ads account number right in here, your zip code, and of course, you would go, if you're a plumber, which most of you are going to be plumbers if you're watching this, you will go to plumbing. And then that will set the category that your business is. That's important, and it's important for you also to know that HVAC and plumbing are separate. So if you do both, you can add both categories to your business, but start with whatever is the most important to you. Most of the time, that's going to be plumbing. Okay, so then once you get into the platform, it's going to ask you for a number of things when it comes to getting yourself verified. The biggest one is going to be a background check, and they have changed providers over time with this. So what you're going to need to do is make sure that you are using the same account that you are signing up for this program with as the background check service. That's the current model. It is being done by Evident. They walk you through it. It's not super complicated, but it's something that needs to be done. And this is one of the ways that Google ensures that you are going to be a good business for them. The other thing that you need to do is get customer reviews. Now, when you do this, you're going to click on this here, and it's going to say, hey, would you like this link? And then you are going to encumber what appears to be a permanent Google review link. And it's important for you to realize that this is specifically for the LSA platform, not for your Google business listing. And you need to make sure that you get reviews on this platform because first, when it comes to verification, Google wants 3 of them. Second of all, the amount of reviews you have influences how often your ad is going to show up for future searches. And that can be something that people take their eye off the ball. So make sure that if you have somebody utilizing this platform, getting through this platform, that you send them that Google review link either through the platform itself or through a text message or email, some other mode of communication. Google will also give you estimated budgets that you can see here for your market, depending on what your other details are, and we'll go into those details in a second. But it charges per week, or it tries to charge per week, and often we find that Google overshoots, especially for new accounts, what you're actually going to get out of the program. So this, you could see $390 per week is going to cost $1,600 a month. And that's going to vary depending on what market you're in and who else is using the platform. So it's important to make sure that you set your pricing so you can afford these, because these are still some of the cheapest leads that you will get. You can also click on set your own budget and just put it what you're comfortable with, and they'll give you a little bit of an idea here. Your billing information, Google's going to have you tie it to a credit card, and it's going to pass you through to the Google Ads billing platform. And so all you need is a credit card that Google can charge. The one thing you want to be careful about is making sure that you have changed out that credit card when the expiration happens, or should you have any fraud hits on the card and Google can't charge you, they will stop your ads. So if you have any disruptions in the charge payment method, then you need to go in and make sure that you keep it updated on the platform. They are going to ask you for your license number, and the extra verification really depends on what state you're in regarding this. It's a little bit different depending on what state. The other thing that they are going to ask from you is a certificate of insurance. So with this, you just need to call up your insurance company, and they want to make sure that you have $250,000 in insurance to cover any sort of service that you're doing. So once you get through all that verification stuff, and actually while it's pending, you can still go in and start building out the platform itself. And so you have the business verification section. You've also got leads. You can see the menu over here. The policy manager, reports, reviews, profile and budget, billing, all this stuff. Let's dive into the profile and budget section first, because that's primarily what I want you to see. So this is the overall profile and budget section. And what you're going to need to do here is go in and fill it out to the absolute best that you can. They want a little bit of a bio, because that shows up on the back end for the customer. They want to make sure you have your website, and then you can adjust your budget here in the future as you go, and you can set the bidding mode to maximize leads, or there's another option, but maximize leads is usually where you want it. And so go in, set your budget. But now let's talk about the job types, which you can see. You can click this here and it'll bring up a special menu. And this is the job types menu. This is where you are going to want to go in make sure that all these make sense for your business. You're also wanting to probably, if you are also in HVAC, add HVAC to your business as well. This particular account, I don't want to do that because it is not an HVAC business, but then it'll give you extra services specifically for the HVAC side that you can add in. I highly recommend that you add photos of your business, somebody doing work, somebody, anything that has signage on it is also going to help a little bit. Google actually scans the photos that you upload to it to make sure that A, it's not offensive, but B, that they know what it is. So smiling people, your vans if you've got them, your signage if you've got it, everything you can do to make your business A, be approachable for the user, and B, look legitimate for Google. Another thing that you can do here is go into the message leads. You can turn this on, and if you have the local services app installed on your phone, you'll be able to receive both text and email leads. There is a little bit of a problem with this currently, and I don't know if it will persist. If you turn this on, you need to have somebody on it in order to answer that lead immediately. Because what happens is after they send you a lead, it will show them options to send other plumbers leads or messages as well. And then, if they don't hear back from you, they're just like, now you're in a race with another business. So only turn this on if you're sure that you can handle that. Of course, you're going to want to set your business hours. That's pretty self-explanatory. And then the other thing that you're going to want to do is look at your service areas. Now, when you do your service areas, typically you're going to want to add the towns and areas by name first, and then zip codes to fill in any other area. In this one, we put in the zip codes first, and then we ended up doing the actual names. And you can see that it negated the ones that were underneath this larger service area. And so go in, do everything that you can in order to fill out your service area. And in this, you can go broad. This is as big as you're willing to drive is what you should put in here, because you never know where that need is going to come up or where that call is going to come from within the service area itself. So if you're willing to drive to it within a day, then you should put that in as your service area. And again, of course, you can put in exclusions if there's a particular area you do not want or cannot work in for any reason. That helps you narrow down your market a little bit if some of these giant service areas cover an area that you don't want to go into. So the last thing to talk about in the setup is really the scheduling. Depending on what CRM you have, how you handle your schedule, you have the ability to tie that into a scheduling app or resource. I typically don't recommend this because you are going to want your front desk to have the power of seeing the schedule and putting things in where they make sense for you. However, every business is a little bit different. Maybe you're at a spot where it works well for you. That's fine. You can turn it on and see how it works. And now let's talk about the next step, which is actually what the platform is like when you're using it. That was all set up. So now let's dive in to the next level. One thing you're going to want to go into is the leads section of the main navigation menu, and then that will lead you here. If you have leads that are sort of pending, this is where they show up, and you have some filter options that you can go through and take a look at them. So you can see new, active, booked, completed, and archive. So you also have different charge statuses that you can go in here. So basically, these leads will start to show up here. Now, if you are to click on them, you will get a little bit more information. So as the leads come in, you're going to want to go in and actually manage them. And speed matters on this. If you have a CSR or somebody answering the phones who is not the owner typically, have them go into this platform multiple times a day if they have to, in order to make sure that these things get handled quickly and well. So let's dive in and take a look at this lead. So in this case, you can see this lead has not been charged, and this was a missed call. So right now, if this came to me, I would want my CSR to call this person back and try and book the job. If they didn't book the job, they can go ahead and archive the lead. However, if it is booked, then mark it booked as soon as you can, because Google wants to know that when it sends you somebody, that person is being taken care of. So you have to give them feedback, and they absolutely are measuring how fast things get booked on the platform. Now, Google won't put your actual phone number in there. What they will do when the customer calls, it uses a call tracking number. This lead here, you can see, was a 2-minute phone call, and you can actually listen to how these calls are coming to the customer, which is really handy if you need to monitor a team of people who are answering the phones, because it'll tell you if they're on point or not. Another thing that you need to know is that if you get a lead that is not good, you have the option to dispute it. And that is done by hitting these 3 dots right here. If you dispute it, theoretically, Google will uphold that dispute, and then you will get that, you will not be charged the lead, meaning that you can use the same budget on the next lead that comes through in the hopes that they will be good. If you do get the customer's name and email, I highly recommend that you put those items in here because A, Google wants it, and B, it will allow you to ask for a review from that customer direct from the platform itself, which gives Google even more signals that you're managing the users that they send you. Now, the next section that you need to be aware of is reviews. So you can get to this through the menu over on the left-hand side and then go down in and click reviews. Now, reviews are very, very important on this platform. Basically, what you need to do is when you have received a lead and the job is completed, then you can go into this review side and ask for the review itself. So you can see this account is not doing well on managing their reviews. So what you need to do is go into the Ask for Review section and then go ahead, click the Ask for Review. You will need to put in their email address and their name if you didn't do it before, figure out what kind of a job it is and the overall location. And then, theoretically, you would also have the customer knowing that this would come in, and then you would go ahead and send it. The more reviews you get on this platform, review count matters to the user, review flow matters to Google. So the user wants to know that you're reputable and that you have a good name in the community, and that's going to come down to star rating and review count, unless you're doing a lot of brand building in other areas. And I can tell you that this client absolutely does, so their LSA is still performing well. However, Google themselves, what they want is a flow. They want to know that they don't care about the star rating, they don't care about how many, they care about flow, because they want to know that you are an active business and that you're going to take care of their users, because that's how they protect their own advertising platform. They need the users to make money off of people like you and I. So they want to make sure that they are giving their users a really good experience. If they protect the users, they get the eyeballs and then they can sell us the ads. That's their whole game. So that is how you deal with the reviews. And that's how you deal with reviews on LSA. Now, again, it's important to note that a lot of times there's a difference between the reviews on your Google business listing and the reviews on your LSA platform. So I highly recommend you use the LSA platform itself to ask for a review, even if you're asking for a review inside of your CRM through another system. And so that's most of the LSA platform as it stands right now. Again, I'd want to reiterate, the best thing you can do is have somebody on your team who manages this platform with a degree of speed. And that's largely because Google wants to protect their user. So if you do that, over time, this platform should grow, and then you should be able to Google will send you more leads. Often we find that the platform starts off slow and ramps up. But a lot of this stuff also depends on the competition in the area. If you are in a highly competitive zone, Google, unlike Google search ads, this doesn't really give us a lot of ways to throttle it and make sure that you are at the top of that competition level. Google decides ultimately based on some factors that they don't really tell us about. So we take our best guesses, and it seems like speed and review count are huge factors in that. The costs for this platform also vary wildly. So again, it's going to be about competition. How much is everybody willing to pay for a lead within a given market? And it seems like rather than saying like, well, this person's willing to pay the most so they win, Google's more of taking an overall average and kind of spreading it around instead of just sending everything to the one person that is on their platform. And I think this has to do with them not wanting a certain advertiser to control the entire inventory. So this platform does have limits. but it also has some promise. There are companies who have gotten 70 leads in a month straight out of this platform. That's plenty, and that's good, especially because they tend to convert pretty high. Other methods of getting customers on a pay-per-lead or pay-per-click basis tend to not work as well, especially with Google search, because it will take about 10 clicks for somebody to finally become a lead in your platform. And that can be anywhere from $200 to $500, if not more. So that's why we like to have Google Local Services set up for our clients, because it is often a great starting point to paying per lead. Hope this was helpful and gave you some context. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to the team at mammothforplumbers.com. Thanks.